VAR is ruining football. Or is it? Let's get into it. This last game week, if you've been living under a rock, you won't know that VAR had a catastrophic, horrific weekend. There was about 4 or 5 incidents where they got it completely wrong, and it's led to a massive spiral of conversation and debate and anger from certain fan bases about VAR and its use in the league. We go straight off to Chelsea versus West Ham. The very, very massive moment was that Souček handball. If you haven't seen it, here's a little picture over here. Now, this one, when I watched it live, I was quite shocked. I was like, VAR is going to come in any second now, no doubt. And the commentators mentioned, oh yeah, it's not. And I was like, surely they've got that wrong, because it's such a clear handball, and it really, opens your eyes and it makes you start thinking, what's going on there? How can't they see that? If I can see it with my 2 eyes, and I've got the replay, because the conversation about the referees back in the day was human error. Obviously still a thing because of human error, the humans behind the VAR make the decisions, but human error, in the moment they might miss it. Well, it's not in the moment anymore. They can watch multiple replays like we do, so there's no excuse if we can see it, why they can't. That Souček one probably was the worst of the weekend, in my opinion. That's why I've started with it. It was really, really poor. Let's move over to my team, Palace, and we played Brighton. There was 2 decisions in this game that really made your eyebrows raise, like that, just like that. McAllister, first few minutes into the game, should have been sent off. But the reason why I'm saying that is because previously we saw Mitchell get sent off for something very, very similar against Fulham. Studs up, not fully hitting the player with the studs, but, studs up at the end of the day means a red card, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Surely it does. If it means it in one game, doesn't it not mean it in the other? McAllister absolutely clattering Decore, getting a yellow card. We're not finished yet with VAR in this game, because we're talking about the Estupiñán goal, which obviously I'm not too fussed about getting disallowed because, it's against us and we got a point at the end of the day. We did not deserve it one bit. But anyway, that's another video. Estupiñán's goal was given offside. Let me just show you where the lines were drawn for this one. Yeah. But the angle was coming in at the side diagonally, so it's hard to actually see properly. It's not black and white, this one, but they have drawn a line on Tompkins, who isn't the last man. It's Mark Gahey, clearly, because he's leant forward. This part of your body is playable, of course, so that one probably is onside, but I'm not going to complain about that one. That's 3 decisions now I'm already talking about, and I've only watched these 2 games. There's more that I found out later on Le Twitter. The Wolves red card for Lemina. I have to just say this is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life, and Neves came out afterwards and said a few words.
I was trying to understand why the red card, and he said to me there were too much players around him, and he just gave the yellow card to the 3rd one because he felt threat. So that was his explanation.
Now, I completely sympathise with Wolves here. I think referees sometimes they get a sense of arrogance where, don't step to me, I'll just book you. Shut up, mate. It's the game. You're going to get controversy in a game. You're going to get people talking back and forth to you. Lemina wasn't even the first one to run over. It was Neves and Moutinho, and then he gave Lemina the 2nd yellow and sent him off. So if you're going to book him, you have to keep consistency there and book Moutinho and Neves. But you wouldn't do that because that's really, really weird. So then the question is, why did you just single out him? Another terrible VAR decision this weekend. Finally, the one that I've seen all over Twitter, because obviously a bigger fan base in Arsenal versus Brentford. That equalising goal by Ivan Toney, the offside prior in the move. I think it was Norgard. Was it offside? Yes, it was offside. And when it comes to offside, when it's something like that, it really, really baffles me how they don't get it, because all you're doing is drawing the line. If it's like an inch and stuff, it's like, okay, this is a bit techie. But they seem to work out the little inch ones a lot. Remember Isak beginning of the season or early in the season for Newcastle against Liverpool? They seem to work out that one pretty well, didn't they? When it was just an inch offside. So when it's like a foot offside, why can't you work that one out? That's really, really confusing to me. I don't understand that VAR. If you could tell us why that is VAR, we'd love to hear it. Obviously VAR have come out, and I think it was Howard Webb who's running it. I can't really remember. Here's a tweet right here. They've apologised to Brighton and to Arsenal for drawing the wrong lines or not drawing them at all. Thanks, mate. Cheers for the apology. That means a lot. Can we get our points back though? Brighton and Arsenal fans would be saying, can we get our points back though, please? Oh, you can't give it that. So then sorry isn't good enough. McFly said it perfectly. Sorry's not good enough. Good enough. We want our points back. Those are the lyrics. It's absolutely disgraceful, because if you look at the end of the season, guys, we're going to be looking at a few points in the title race, a few points in the relegation battle. And those are the points that are so impactful. And they're decided by sloppy officiating. And we saw the next day Ian Wright made this little video here.
Best league in the world, they say. That's what we say. Oh, best league in the world. They're mistakes, bro. What's going to happen? What's going to happen from the refs, from the PGMOL? well, someone's gonna get what? And we're gonna get an apology. I can't. You can't even blame the technology, man. You can't blame the technology. In 2 cases, they drew the lines in the wrong place, man. The wrong rascal place.
There, of course, you heard Ian Wright get very upset because they drew the lines in the quote-unquote Ross Clark wrong place. And I agree with Ian Wright here. I don't know how they can't do it. Your job is just to sit there, watch the game like all of us, on a screen, with the replays, a numerous amount of angles. There's no excuse for it. It's just sloppy officiating. However, is it all VAR's fault? Is there another side to the coin? Everyone's saying bad VAR. We hate VAR. Well, this is a debate. So what's on the other side of the spectrum? I'll be honest, guys. I'm all for VAR still. Still to this day, I will not fall off this hill of I am for VAR. We've always had the awful refereeing in this league. The officiating in the Premier League is known to be quite rubbish. So with VAR, I don't see it as a massive issue with the fact that we're getting bad decisions, because we were getting bad decisions anyway. Vividly, certain decisions for Palace against Manchester United. I don't know why it's Manchester United, but Ashley Young dived at Old Trafford like 10 years ago. Rojo studs up challenge back of Zaha's leg. Absolutely terrible studs up challenge. Should have been a red card, not a card even given. I'm bringing that up because I feel like people, have a recency bias, and we're seeing how VAR does make mistakes quite often. We forget how bad it actually was with the referees before. And then people say, that human error is part of the game, it added to the debate. It did, but the decisions that were offside by some distance that weren't given. There's so much that went wrong with officiating before. I find that VAR does have a rightful place in the game. But let's go into the games that I mentioned prior to this, because of course you look at Chelsea versus West Ham with the Souček handball. Literally 5 minutes prior to this, an offside is rightfully given from VAR. So VAR has saved Chelsea from losing all points. Of course, they should have won the game with the penalty that they probably would have got. Would they have scored it? I don't know. It's all hypothetical in that sense. But factually, VAR disallowed an offside goal by Souček, which is quite ironic. You've got the good side and the bad side. It saved a goal being conceded by Chelsea, and it wrongfully disallowed a penalty to be given. So yes, VAR has its ups and downs, but you've got to weigh in the ups when you mention the downs. You know what I really think about this, guys, is yes, people blame VAR. The element of technology in the refereeing decisions and the officiating is not negative. It is a positive. We needed to move in that direction to improve the game. You know the problem? It's the people behind the cameras. It's still the officiators. Lee Mason was in the VAR booth for Arsenal Brentford. I've seen a lot of tweets by that. I've got an Arsenal mate who's spamming all of the likes on those, where saying Lee Mason has a clear agenda against Arsenal. I don't know about that, but he is a referee and he's behind the VAR. So the people that are making the bad decisions before are now behind the camera making more bad decisions. Do you know what I mean? So it's not the VAR's fault. It's the people that are officiating it. We need to improve the overall officiating in the FA and in the league. Then we'll see a correlation within the VAR decisions. I do believe that sincerely. Football fans are fickle. Football fans are just, they don't like it when it happens to them, but they love it when it goes for them. Do you know what I mean? Look at Ian Wright there. Ian Wright would be buzzing if a decision went that. He wouldn't be crying out like that. And that's fair enough. He's an Arsenal fan. That makes sense. This mate that I've got who's liking every single tweet wouldn't be speaking like this because it went their way. Just like I'm not. We're all fickle. We're all fake. You know what I mean? Like we'd hate it to happen to us, but we love it to happen for us. Do you know what I mean? Speaking of Arsenal, literally an offside decision that should have been given that wasn't given. That's what we're crying about, Arsenal fans, isn't it? Fair enough. I'd do the same. But you weren't crying and moaning and saying, VAR's a bit rubbish when Saka wasn't given offside or whoever it was against Liverpool. We all get the ups and downs. So you have to look at it at that point. Does VAR even out at the end of the season? For some teams, I don't think it does. Liverpool has a ring to it, doesn't it? We moan when it goes against us. We were happy when it goes for us. It's the balance of the season. So when we see Arsenal fans saying, we're a few points at the end of the season, that's going to decide our season. Those few points. You gained points here and you didn't lose it there. Let's look at Chelsea actually for a second. Chelsea moaning about that handball. They literally handballed it against Palace. Thiago Silva argues through on goal. Thiago Silva slides on the floor and smacks it. Smacks it, literally. Here's a screenshot right here. He smacks it to avoid Ayew going through on goal. Yellow card. VAR looks at it. No upgrade to a red card. No complaints from Chelsea fans. No complaints from Chelsea fans. Of course, I think the Souček one is more black and white, saying that's awful, that needs to be given. I'm not saying that. But you had a favourable decision there. So you can't truly complain because it's just the balance of life. You get your yin, you get your yang, you get your good, you get your bad. And that's how I look at VAR at the moment. It does need to improve, but the way to improve it is to improve the overall officiating in the league, starting with the referees. Let's get better refs in the league. Why don't we have the best officiating in the world? We should lead from the front. We've got the best, we've got the most investment, we've got this, that and the other. Bring in the best refs from around the world. We need to have the best officiating in this league. It's not good enough, and it's causing big issues that are going to continue to happen throughout the season, time and time again. Of course, there are good and bads, and I will always stand by VAR because the actual technology needs to be in the game, because the human error that we were seeing time and time again in the league, especially for teams like Palace, you see it happen to you more because there is a favour for the big teams, in my opinion. That's a little team mindset, but so be it. We need VAR to come in and sort out those decisions. They've come in, they've done well in places. You have to give it its credit. You have to. Yes, there are the negatives, and this is a very bad week in example. But even within this bad week, I've mentioned a good decision there. You know, you've got to take the good and the bad with VAR, and if you are against it, let me know in the comments down below why. And if you're for it, let me know as well. I really do appreciate you coming through and watching this video. It's a new series sort of idea that I'm doing. It's called The Debate. So in the future, if you're in the comments down below and you have a discussion that you want to have and debate me on, I will make the opposing view and we will go butt heads, and we'll find out in the comments down below who won the debate. So yeah, in the future, I'll be joined by somebody else virtually for a conversation and a debate on a specific topic. So thanks for coming through. Make sure you subscribe to the Floppylegss Football channel. There's going to be more videos coming very soon. Make sure you click the link in the bio to check out my other channels. I do post on another main channel called Floppylegss, as well as a clips channel for my Twitch streams. I do stream on Twitch as well, and post on Instagram and TikTok and all that jazz. I'm everywhere, baby. Thanks for coming through, and I'll see you when I see you.